Welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to support my daily Eternal Magic offerings while getting amazing perks like the BoshNRoll Discord community, have me play your deck on the channel, or listen sideboard guides before tournaments, check out the Patreon or YouTube membership program. This channel is possible because of these amazing sponsors. Check them out, all their links are in the video description. As always, thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic. Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today, before we do anything else, I am recording for the first time from my brand new computer. Made some upgrades, basically for the first time since starting the channel. I am no longer producing these videos from a busted old laptop on a little folding desk in the corner of the guest room of my home. We are rearranging the house, so I have an actual studio, and now I have an actual computer to put into it. But what that does mean is settings might be a little weird. Got to figure it out. Got to figure out how sound works in the physical space I'm in addition to making sure all the settings are right on my recording software and stuff. If anything is weird about this video, I am open to polite feedback, and I will work on that. Just work with me for a couple videos here if anything is off. All that said, today I'm playing kind of a Grixis Midrange control deck. This is a deck that was pretty big like 3-4 weeks ago, and I haven't seen it much since then, but it's full of cards I like. The deck comes from an anonymous Patreon supporter. Didn't want to be named, but shout out to them for having good taste in Grixis control decks. Basically what's going on here is this deck is a little bit bigger than the Grixis Tempo decks that were really popular when Orcish Bowmasters first came out. The ones playing Delver and stuff, you just are higher on the curve than those. You get to go over them, but you still have Bowmasters and cheap interaction of your own to get under the other kinds of decks. It has the Kolaghan's Command looping Snapcaster, then you Snapcaster Kolaghan's Command. It has that sort of endgame. We've got Jace and Sorin in here. These might be better as the One Ring at this point. When this list first came out, I don't know that we realized that the One Ring was just better than every single 4-mana Planeswalker yet, but I'm going to play this as intended and rock it as it was sent to me. If you want to see One Ring Grixis, I have played that on the channel too. It was pretty sick. Grixis gets a ton of great removal, gets a ton of sick interaction in Thoughtseize. Obviously, we're a Forcible deck, Narset for card advantage. There's no Days Undoing in here. I actually do like that. I don't love Days Undoing as a Magic card in Legacy, and especially now with Bowmaster blowouts as a potential thing that could happen. I guess you can't get that blown out by Bowmaster because Days Undoing ends the turn when it resolves, so Bowmaster triggers won't resolve. They basically put 7 triggers on the stack and then the turn ends. So that's actually not much of a problem now that I'm talking through it live. But this is a classic, powerful, disruptive 1-mana spells, and we 2-for-1 you until we win somehow kind of deck. And that's my kind of Magic. Let's get into it. This is Grixis Midrange bordering on control. I'm on the play in round 1 against a Yorion strategy. I keep Island Ponder. Verifying all my stops are set correctly. Careful on that if you change computers or change Magic Online. The stops all do reset, but they are where I like them. I did do that before we started recording. Some more cantrips and Big Sorin. I like this spread of cards. I'll keep it. Do not shuffle and send it. I have 4 lands here. They can all be basic if they need to be. I've got Snap Bolt and Ponder and Brainstorm and Snap Ponder if I want that. Just try to get to Sorin. Expedition map. What is going on? I'm just going to play... I guess I should probably Brainstorm plus Ponder now. At least Brainstorm now. Thoughtseize is in my deck. There's a card I would like access to if it seems appropriate. Ding. Okay. I don't need 5 lands. I am going to fetch basic mountain, or basic swamp here just in case. And I think with this Ponder, I can actually just put back 2 lands pretty safely. Delta gets swamp. I'm about to fetch swamp. Tarn gets island or mountain. Okay. I'm going to basic swamp here and take a look at what my opponent's up to. What are you doing? Is this Bluetron? Is it some Saga deck? Oof. Why does a deck like this have Expedition Map in it? Fascinating. I think I take the Narset. It's just not a card I want to have to deal with. Though I do have Lightning Bolt in my hand with no other target. Maybe I was supposed to take Brainstorm there. Prismatic Vista. And fetching right away. It seems like a deck that could support back to basics, but I have played around that as much as I need to. Olagon's Command, fascinating. If they do anything else with their mana, K-Command is solid. But I'm not going to count on that. They left up 2, and I know their hand. Okay, I will take the guaranteed mana number 4 here and play Scalding Tarn and pass. Using the map, of course, Urza's Saga was the get. Makes sense. Oh, this is probably a standstill deck. Got a lot of respect for that. Yorion standstill. Love it. Booted up Urza Saga, then played Flooded Strand instead. Because they found another Narset. I'm going to bolt it in response to activation here. And I think I just get a Volcanic Island at this point. If they're a Wasteland deck, it's probably in small numbers and probably not happening soon, would be my guess. Wandering Emperor. Disappointing. I can't just shove this Sorin unless I draw a force of my own. Okay. Guess I'm shoving Sorin. And there's no double black cards in the deck. There are some double blues. There's no double reds. I'm going to get Underground Sea. Sorin the Mirthless. He has no mirth at all. I imagine we're going to see Force Pitching Supreme Verdict. Oh, Force Pitching Brainstorm. Interesting. Force you back, lose the Snapcaster. I am kind of in here. I know 3 of their 4 cards in hand. The last one was not a banger. I'm going to put extra cards in my hand. Ponder's in my hand now. I don't need to make a creature here because I know they're holding Wandering Emperor that can just exile it next turn. Just want card advantage. Work my way towards ultimate. Field Sorin Bite. There's Saga. Soul Guide Lantern. Okay. Glad I had to pitch my Snapcaster. There's only 2 in the deck. And Big Bird's in the hand. Fair enough. Thing it does. That's cool. Maybe. Start by plussing Sorin. Belful Strix. Yes, I would like that in my hand. Blue-black. Strix. In my land. Life is good. I'm gonna ponder here. 2 Strixes and a push. I definitely don't want Fatal Push. I'm quite certain of that. Am I certain of that? I do have to work through this Urza Saga somehow. I am not going to shuffle. Then I'm going to shuffle and play the Strix. This is how these decks win. You just put stupid creatures into play and deal 1 at a time until they lose. I have not played around back to basics up to this point, and I don't think I'm going to start now. Second Strix. All right, we got a real clock. I'm not worried about Urza Saga at this point. If they spend a turn Supreme Verdicting, that's fine. Brainstorm. Disappointing. Just drew the Bowmaster. Sorin is 1 turn away from taking a bite. I don't even know if that's right to do, like ever, but it's there. Main phase Construct token. Why? Are we just getting F6 value? What's going on? Are we playing around Stifle for reasons? Don't know. I'm going to start by plussing Sorin. I found a force if I can get a blue card in my hand. Alright, another Baleful Strix. Just keep them rolling. I'm going to attack with 1 of these Strixes. I got a bunch of options here to punish my opponent. I can cast Bowmaster and Kolagon's Command and have Force backup. A lot of action. If there's a Pithing Needle in their deck to turn off Sorin, K-Command busts it open. Gonna let them tutor. Yep, Pithing Needle. Crazy stuff. It's like I've played Magic before. Sorin is sleepy as far as they know. I still know 3 of the 4 cards in their hand are Yorion, Supreme Verdict, and Wandering Emperor, none of which are castable here. They're cracking off a fetch land. Narset Parter Veils. I could force this. What happens to the game then? I know... Oh, this Brainstorm happened at some point. Maybe I don't know anything. But if I force this, pitching Strix, then it's Destroy Pithing Needle, 2 to you. Bowmaster, ping you. Swipe you. That's 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, I think we're in here. I'm going to force the Narset. I'm going to use Orcish Bowmasters as my blocker here, the Orc Army, because I want the flying attackers. Block the 4/4. Guess I could have killed this if I pinged it and blocked it and then shattered, but I'm trying to go face and get the game over right now, so it's fine. Destroy target artifact, 2 to any target. Destroy Pithing Needle, 2 to you. 1 Sorin Bite away from death. The opponent's at 13. And they're dead. I think Sorin heard us talking about him in the deck tech. That is this better as the One Ring? Who knows? These cards are large enough that you can see them. Here's one of those settings that has not been fixed yet. Okay, here we go. A control mirror of sorts. All my pyros and rebs coming in. Oppo Agent actually seems cool. Meltdown, they had at least a little bit of use for that one. Fatal Push seems like it sucks. I don't need 2 Cling to Dust for this matchup either. Spellpierce actually seems dope. Children's Edict, probably not necessary. Yeah, I'm going to run it like this. The Lightning Bolt can hit Planeswalkers. The Red Blast do that too. I have Kolaghan's Commands and Baleful Strixes to support the Meltdown. Just trying to min-max this. Like, putting 2 Meltdowns in would really take the pressure off of Urza Saga, but I like all my other cards. This is how I'm going to do it. Red Blast, Ponder, keep. A Plateau to start the game. Someone's got a Red Blast. I'm just going to play my bad lands and pass. If we want to play non-blue Red Blast Magic, I'll sign up for some of that. I'm not shoving my Ponder into that. Lavinia, Azorius Renegade. Resolves. Lightning Bolt immediately finds a tasty little house to live in. That might be a weird way to talk about Lavinia, but Lightning Bolt's in there. Wow, Forest pitching backup Lavinia. Is Lavinia even good in this matchup? What did they see that they're worried about with Lavinia? Okay, now I'm going to Red Blast this thing. That was a nice little 3 for 2. Thoughtseize Brainstorm Snap. I'm going to put Brainstorm in my hand. I can force something if I need to, and I'm drawing Thoughtseize. Okay, they're just draw going with me. This is where decks with discard in them really break open control mirrors when you get to take a peek in these draw go situations. Oh my goodness, it's the Red Blast I said they had. What a surprise. Brainstorm's going to find Snapcaster and 2 new cards. Get rid of these 2 lands and just send it. Cool. We're in a good spot here. They can put Yorion in hand at the minimum. There they go, Yorion's in hand. I'm going to fetch a Volcanic Island here. That just gives me perfect mana across the board. I can snap Thoughtseize, or I can play Strix. I'm going to snap Seize. Snap Red Blast is kind of like Snap Thoughtseize, except I don't lose 2 life, but they might have some other thing in there that I need to know about. Alright, I don't care about Supreme Verdict. Okay, you're up. If they ever play out too many lands, then K-Command for just discard mode becomes a serious effect on the game. Narset Parter Avails. I could force this, or I could attack it plus K-Command, make them discard. I think I'm going to try that. If they find a removal spell right now, that's a little annoying because I'll have to force it to clear the Narset. Oh, Chandra Awaken Inferno. Alright, well, I have concerns all of a sudden. Wish I had that Thoughtseize now, my goodness. Attack Narset. And Chandra has a Wrath mode, 3 damage to each non-elemental. He's also uncounterable. I think I'm going to pass here. Like, if there's some universe where they miss the land, then they Supreme Verdict to save Narset, and... oh, word. Okay, this guarantees the land. I can K-Command to kill Crucible and Narset, but that doesn't actually solve my problem here. But I don't think I have a better answer. Okay, you're going to get this. That's a beat for sure. And the good news is I don't actually have to kill Narset now. So target player discards a card, destroy target artifact. You discard, destroy Crucible. Drawing a discard spell or like Thoughtseize or K-Command both beat the Chandra now. And I clear the Narset fair and square. Okay, attack Narset. I have this Pyroblast. I'm going to have to commit a Baleful Strix, which sucks because it's going to just die. But if I have a chance to come up with a discard spell here, I have to take it. Another Force. It's a -3. Just trying to decide if it's better to cantrip here or have a creature left over at the back end. I think it's better to cantrip here. Because the Wrath mode is a -3, which leaves her dead to Bolt, which is a card I play. All these Force of Wills. Opponent looking very smart right now for having this card in their deck. If I was just a little more patient on Snap Thoughtseize, this wouldn't be an issue at all. I don't know if that's right or just hindsight thinking. Oh, they gave me an emblem. Interesting. They want a race. Okay. I mean, they're going to win the race, but still okay. This gives me a chunk I can take out of Chandra. I don't think this deck has a Mystic Sanctuary in it. It does not. Okay. Still giving me emblems. Probably a safe bet, honestly. Oppo Agent, that's interesting. It is a creature that also affects the existing board at least a little bit. Attack Chandra down to 2. Now she can't Wrath. Okay. I mean, the race is on here. I have a heck of a Delver hand in that it can just apply pressure with tons of backup. Okay. Hard mode activated. Chandra's going to die this turn. I'm going to run out this Oppo. I'm not going to wait for them to fetch. It's more important to have the extra power. Wow, didn't fetch. They either have removal or just think the 1 life matters a lot. I can hardcast Force and Pyroblast here and Pitchcast Force. Putting 4 on Chandra and 3 on my opponent. Doing the bare minimum. Hardcast Force on this. Interesting they'd go after the one that's dealing damage to them and not the one that's killing Chandra. Like they could have gone after Strix there, and then Chandra is still alive. Okay, main phasing a construct. Again, for reasons. Go to 6, then I attack, then I go to 3, then I attack. I need some action here. A K command or a lightning bolt, all good stuff. Fetch land's not really what I'm in the market for. I'm just going to send the squad. I have to apply damage here. And I get their tutor off of Saga in case that ends up mattering. I'm going to have to gain life. I hope they play a Shadow Spear. That's what I need right now. I need to gain life or brainstorm into multiple burn spells. No Shadow Spear. Retrofitter Foundry doesn't help. Either Spellbomb doesn't help. None of these things gain me life. Soul Guide Lantern cantrips at least. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, even Spellbomb bouncing their creature doesn't really do anything. Get to look at this deck though. Oh, there's a Stoneforge package in here. Yikes. Good to know. Only 1 Chandra. They found it. 1 4th Aerolingus, 2 Humility. Cool. I don't think there's a land in my deck that helps me. Nope. They just make mana. Nothing techie. Guess I'll take the Soul Guide Lantern. Prismatic Ending. Force of Will. That out. Okay, deck. Last shot at doing anything here. I would like a Brainstorm, I think is what I want here. Did not want to fetch land, that's for sure. Soul Guide Lantern. Exile. Chandra. Just matter of pride there. Sacrifice Soul Guide to draw a card. Meltdown. That kills the construct. 3, 4, 5. Alright, they did it. That's not how I would have played the Chandra, but it did work. Now we've seen 4th Aerolingus and Chandra. Blue Blast is a little bit tempting. Cling to Dust can gain life, but I don't know if I want to play to a world where Big Chandra's in play already. I could just sequence my Thoughtseizes more aware with higher awareness. I think that's how I would say that. I think I'm going to shave a Strix for a Blue Blast here. I do like the burn, and let's do it. We certainly had their other 79 cards beat. It was just that Chandra, and only barely. Chandra got through by 1 turn in a game that was otherwise completely under control. That's what a sideboard card should do, or at least a tech card should do. Maybe it's in their main deck, I don't know their life. Okay, some lands that don't cast this Bowmaster. No cantrips. I do have Bolt that I like. Moving towards Chandra. I am going to keep this. It's got enough upside. Volcanic Island, send it. They've got a Plains and an Aether Spellbomb. Sure. The Bolt's extra nice knowing that they're a Stoneforge deck as well. Alright, found land number 3. I at least get Narset. I would love for them to cast some boltable creature here and just let me carve out. Cool. I'm going to let them tutor first. Don't want them tutoring with the knowledge that they don't actually have a Stone Forge. They went for Batterskull anyway, which is the safer choice. Brazen B. Alright. Narset. Try it out. Please get in. Narset got in. Thoughtseize versus Spell Pierce. Love Thoughtseize, but I do not have any mana to cast it. I'm going to take the safe one on Spell Pierce. Feels bad though. Sending 2 black lands to the bottom. Plateau. This looks like a prismatic ending. Oh, 4th Erlingus. That's so much worse. Oh wait, no. They can't draw cards because of the Monarch, so I don't... Or because of Narset. And if they attack Narset, the Monarch's not even introduced. Like, okay, sure. They have applied 2 damage to Narset. Deal. Petty Theft the horse right now, while they don't have mana up to fight my Spell Pierce. And... cool. That was a 3-mana shock. Soulguide Lantern resolves, not fighting over that. Oh goodness. Black mana, you're in trouble now. I can Brazen Borrower with Spell Pierce back up. I can Bowmaster with Spell Pierce and Force. I got options. Please cast Brainstorm. Okay. They went to draw a card with Soulguide Lantern. As good a time as any to put Bowmaster into play. And if they bounce it with either Spell Bomb, I don't care. Spell Pierce that. You knew about that one. Was working through it, I suppose. And, oh right, they also just don't draw a card. We both forgot about Narset. That's funny. That was questionable all around. Yeah, Narset's been out of favor for a while. Just forgot how to play with that one. A Thoughtseize. I love this card. Let me see. Force of Negation pitching your Narset. Okay. I'd rather have Force in my hand than not Force, not Jace, and Thoughtseize them. Whatever. They missed a land drop last turn after unsuccessfully trying to draw a card. Alrighty, go. Still holding on to that Aether Spellbomb. Land number 4 achieved. Humility. I'm going to Force of Will that. Or I could just leave 3 creatures in play and cast Jace into this Humility board. Can I beat Humility? That's really interesting, actually. Because Batterskull is big and bad, for sure. But Jace is a complete unit. I also have more creatures than them, but Batterskull will be better than my creature. Meltdown's pretty far away. I can just bounce the... yeah, whatever. You can have Humility. Let's party. Makes my Orc army bigger. I would love to draw a blue card to back up this Force. I don't think I can lose if I draw a blue card right now. Nice. Jace the Mind Sculptor. I know their hand is Batterskull. And they do play Red Blast, but they don't play Lightning Bolt. Found Red Blast and mana to cast it off of my action here, my Brainstorm. So now I have 2 pieces of interaction. You can't draw extra cards. And Jace is doing Jace stuff. Allowing that one. Okay, that's the one that would have been dead anyway if you either Spellbomb it, but it's gone. Bouncing Orcish Bowmaster. That can't come back into play as a 1/1. And Yorion in the hand, sure. Not trying to be a dick to my opponent, just pointing out for the viewers that I could have gained 1 life instead of 2 and been down 2 cards instead of 1. All of those were things that could have happened. I think I'm going to need Jace to win the game, so I'm going to start plussing. My hand's already gassed. I am not going to send basic planes to the bottom. Their hand is currently Yorion and Batterskull. The Kolakon's command is just better as Shatter than it is as discard, even though it's going to get a good one either way. 1/1 resolves. Terrifying. I'm going to cast my own 1/1 in the end step, and we'll just poke 1/1s at each other. Here's my Meltdown, plus target you. There's a Ponder. I will not put that on the bottom because I have Narset, and I know what that does now. Currently, their only card in hand is Batterskull. Target player discards a card, deal 2 to anything. You discard, deal 2 to Yorion. I think I want to save the Red Blast. Yeah, I could have Red Blasted Yorion and then shock and discard them. That does cut a turn off the clock. But I have Jace going. And why use 2 cards for a job that can be done with 1? Ponder gets to look at your top 3 cards, but you don't actually get to draw one. And then I'll look at that top card too. Now we're in a level system where the best thing they can hope for is finding two pretty good cards and stacking the second best one that I would be inclined to send to the bottom. Oh, there's a 4-drop on top. They just resolved their Ponder and then quickly tap 4 mana and then realized they didn't have a card. What was that card you were so excited to play? Supreme Verdict, look at that. It's the 4-drop I said. I will send that one to the bottom. Maybe I didn't need to bottom that one, actually. Like, if my plan is to win with Jace, if they did level me and put the second best card under that, but I have Force blue card, and I guess Big Chandra actually obliterates me here. Oh no, no you didn't. Wow, they outplayed me here. And this can kill all the creatures, but Jace is still going to win the game first. All right. Yeah, I messed that one up. I should have correctly identified that I don't care about Supreme Verdict. I brainstorm in the end step, gets rid of a couple lands, grab Underground Sea. I can still draw cards, even though they can't. Ponder, finding Lightning Bolt or Blue Blast here, just takes all the pressure off. I don't care about Thoughtseize. This is a shuffle. And now, so Chandra can minus herself. She can +2 and then -2 alternatingly. And Jace, I end up taking damage. Wonder if I'm supposed to brainstorm here or just keep going upstairs with Jace. I think I want to brainstorm. I have enough answers to this thing in my deck that I would like to just find one and be done with it. Baleful Strix is another redraw. Badlands, black, blue. Oh, right. It's not a redraw. It is a creature, though. We've both messed that one up at least once. There's a lot of really stupid permanents in play right now. I also have 4 minutes and change left on my clock. Should start to really think about winning this game. Not that I wasn't thinking about that. Okay, they -X to Chandra to deal with Baleful Strix. That's great for me. Right. I still think that I can win this game faster if I deal with Chandra, so I'm going to keep trying to do that. Put back the Swamp and the Strix that I now understand is not actually good. Fetch, cast actual Brainstorm. Orcish Bowmasters and Baleful Strix are both creatures, last I checked. And I'll float that Brainstorm on top of my deck. Okay, this is 2 power I can put into play. Chandra can start embleming me, but they'll die way faster than I will. Another Ponder that does not draw cards, sure. But the last one ended up really good for them too. They did not shuffle the Ponder. End step, Snapcaster. End step, Bowmaster. And I lose 1, or take 1 damage in my upkeep. I'm going to cast my actual Brainstorm first, then decide if I need to, how I need to use Jace. Baleful Strix Meltdown. Meltdown sucks. Strix is a creature. Okay, I'm going to plus target you. What did you not shuffle away on Ponder? Force of Will. Do not put that on the bottom. I don't care. And if I attack Chandra down to 2 and then play Strix, they can't Wrath, and then I'm showing 3 damage in play. No, Strix doesn't draw a card. I'm okay with that. Play a land. Send it. If they ever spend any effort dealing with the creatures with Chandra, then Jace is going to run amok. There's a Force of Will in their hand. That's not going to help them much here. Okay, they -1 on Snapcaster. That's cool. That means Chandra is no longer big enough to take Jace out of lethal range next turn. I could also just attack Chandra. I got options. Okay, plus target you. You can keep Humility. Attack Chandra and attack opponent. Just going for everything here. Maximum value. I really don't think they have anything. I mean, I know what one of their cards is. And I think the other one doesn't help. So I Jace them. They have 3 cards in their deck. I take 3 more from Chandra. I would kill them with deck points and life points right around the same time, actually. And I'm going to fetch. My top card's a Swamp. It's my less fetchable anyway. Draw. Zap you with Jace. Exile your deck, please. 3-card hand. Or 3-card deck. Your 3-card hand becomes your 3-card deck. Okay, their deck is Humility, Force of Will, and 1 mystery card. They are at 1 life and will die soon. They're determined to play it out, though. That's fair, I guess. Okay, cool. We got surprised by a cheesy Chandra in game 2 that was still pretty close, honestly. And then we beat Chandra, just showed up a little too late in game 3. I think I'm supposed to let them draw that Supreme Verdict, given infinite time on the clock. But Jace was really the only important thing happening in that game. And leaving them bottoming a card that doesn't answer Jace, I think, was a mistake. But unpunished. Lots of clock used, but very little brain power. I mean, that was a pretty clean Grixis dismantling of Jeskai. Grixis is very good against Jeskai, just in general, because you have discard and they don't. On to the next round. This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks, and groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there. I'm on the play in round 2. I'm going to keep the sand. It's got some threats and some answers in it. Draw some cards. Grixis Life. Volcanic Island Mirror of sorts. I'm just going to go for Underground Sea and cast Baleful Strix here. Both of these lands cast Ponder if they're a Wasteland strategy. They Bowmaster kill my Strix. That's fine because my Bowmaster kills their Bowmaster, and then I have Bowmaster Supremacy. I did not just draw a land, which is what I wanted to do here. I have to decide if I'm a Delver deck or a control deck. Am I willing to force a Bowmaster here? Probably not. But I'm going to cast Ponder. Fingers crossed. Don't master my bow, please. Cool, they didn't master my bow. I get to hit a land drop, I have a Thoughtseize under it. 8. Do I want a Bowmaster here? I think so, because my plan is to Thoughtseize next turn. I still have all these forces. I'm just going to push damage here. Play like they're a combo deck. And not a mirror match. Getting that Brainstorm under me is fine. I'm just trying to push damage. All right, what you working with? What are you? Show me the show and tells. Put him in the graveyard. Oh dear. We are an absolute mess of a 4-color soup deck. I'm going to take 4th Aerolingus. And then there's Uro, Minskin Boo. Multiple dress downs. There's a Ponder under or on top of my deck right now. Yeah, I think hitting my land drop here is worth doing. I'm gonna hide the Kolaghan's Command and just pass. I have force blue card in my grip right now. Trying to win the fight over Minskin Boo. Oh no. Well, I'm gonna force that. And I'm gonna pitch my Ponder to do this. Force pitching Ponder. I know they don't have an answer. They could end step dress down, untap Uro. A pretty powerful play against Grixis. I don't think this Kolaghan's Command is going to help me much. And because of this wall of dress downs, I think that Snapcaster Mage is better as a blue card than anything else. Looks like they're planning to just Uro into my Bowmaster. Probably a good call. 1 to you. Still think Kolaghan's Command is not helpful. For fetching now, does that mean they found a white removal spell? Putting Terminus on top of the deck. Cool trick. Neat. Alright, I'm going to have to force that again. Drawing a land is actually pretty good here. I'm going to get bad lands just so Wasteland can't take me off any colors. Moto Bug. You love to see it. Here come my jerks. The Kolaghan's Command actually not the worst because they can Terminus and then shove Minskin Boo, and Kolaghan's Command actually just dumpsters that. Okay, they are wasting me now. Sure, that happens. I don't need to float mana there, it doesn't do anything. Force pitching Snapcaster. They have 1 unknown card in hand. I hope it's a land and they do shove Minskin Boo. Just do it, what could go wrong? Sick. Do it, do it, do it. I have 1 card in my hand, what could it be? Okay, here comes Big Hammies. Unless they're casting 2 dress downs. Oh no, Uro is in their fucking graveyard. Yeah, that card's way better than everything I'm talking about. Yep. Uro. The Titan of Nature's Wrath, right? That card that I love, that I'm about to die to. Strix gets in front of that, kind of. Not really, because they have this handful of dress downs. What a weirdly effective card against me. Baleful Strix, another one. Blue, black. and play Underground Sea. I'll attack with one of these Strixes. I did just clear the launch pad for Mind Sculptor, but I think that's just something I'm going to have to live with. And this sucks because they can Mind Sculptor and ham it up and dress down before blocks. They could also just minus Mind Sculptor right now and kill Orcish Bowmaster. Okay, that's not what's happening. Just hamster attack. In that case, I'll block with just Baleful Strix. If you dress this down, you don't have trample anymore. And if you don't dress it down, I trade with your thing, which I'm okay with. Alright, that's done. Come on, Lightning Bolt. Okay, target player discards a card, deal 2 to any target. You discard damage to Mind Sculptor. I think I should have attacked with Strix first, but then Uro gets to rumble. I'm not interested in either. Discarded Life from the Loam. Got me. A Bolt. Mind Sculptor. At least taking the pressure off. I'm not going to attack into dress down, kill your thing, draw a card for free. I'm going to make them make that attack. Falling behind quickly, though. Uro gets to battle. Dredged Loam, milling 3 things that are spells. Oh, right. I don't get to ping because of Dredge. Good call. Lots of dress downs in this deck. Very interested in that. Edict. Ugh. Gonna attack with Bowmaster. I can't afford to just be taking 6s off this Uro, though. I'm gonna play my land. It gives away that I have nothing, but I think I want to hit my land drops. Uro gets to attack here. Bowmaster does trigger. I'm 1 short of trading with Uro. I am going to block. I understand that a 4/4 is pretty big, but also, if they draw another card, I get another 1/1. I'm in defense mode now, which is not where I want to be against a control deck like this. We saw last round how... Right, alright. We saw last round how the blue or the black cards pick apart Jeskai, and we're seeing this round how the green cards pick apart black cards. It's Uro and Life from the Loam versus the discard deck. Horrible. Okay, we're dead. Also weird that I queued into 2 control mirrors. I haven't seen a control deck in like 6 weeks. Everyone's playing a combo. Red Blasts, I like. Surgical Extraction. I already have 2 Cling to Dust. I'm not going to go too hard on this, but I do want another one. Fatal Push kills some stuff. Opposition Agent kind of doing it for me, just as an object that exists. I think I want to slim down on Force of Will at least a little bit. Sheoldred's Edict is solid. Fatal Push versus Lightning Bolt's really interesting. Fatal Push can kill Uro, but Lightning Bolt can kill Mind Sculptor. Bring in a bunch of Pyroblasts that deal with Uro, so I'm actually up answers on Uro here if I do that. But Lightning Bolt actually seems mid as well. Just side grade all of these removal spells into Pyroblasts. I have an extra piece of Graveyard Hate now. Maybe a Kolagon's Command sucks, actually. Would I rather have Spell Pierce in? Probably not. Okay, I'm going to go like this. I'll keep this hand. It's got the Cling. I think 1 Cling to Dust last round just flips that whole game for me. Ponder. I know what I'm up against here. I can Ponder on turn 1. Snapcaster and some lands. Cool. I'm going to shuffle this. Snapcaster isn't good for a while, and that's too many lands. Finding Jace. Nice, though. Just a Flooded Strand from the opponent. I have a Red Blast now. I have Graveyard Hate ready. At some point, Narset and Jace will show up. I'll probably cast both of them off curve so I can protect them with Red Blast. Like, save Narset for when I have 4 mana. I'm not going to Pyroblast a cantrip here. I think we'll do better if we wait. These games are going to go long. I have no pressure. I'd love to draw Thoughtseize right now. Brainstorm. Okay, I like Brainstorm too. I'm going to cast that. Could be anything, even a Thoughtseize. Ooh, they're doing something here. Oh, are they on Turbo Red Blast mode? Okay. I mean, I think that is wrong for the matchup. We'll see who ends up being right when we get there. Now I have this Red Blast, and they're down 1. That's not to say they don't have more Red Blasts. Maybe they did that because they have 2 or 3 of them in hand, and they don't want to fetch 2 red sources to leverage them. Wasteland, bummer. Yeah, that's a card you could have. And I'm good. I'm not worried about it at the moment, but it is certainly a card that they could have. Opposition Agent. What's up? I hope they just snap off a fetch land on their turn. I'm going for it. If that happens, you better believe it. A Ponder. Okay. That taps them out of white as well. If they just fetch here, I'm going for it. Ponder shuffled. Oh, tap land. Even worse. They have no mana at all, which I am happy to take advantage of. Oh, is there only one Volcanic Island in this deck and I just got rid of it? Okay. Well, I guess it's Underground Sea and Badlands here. That doesn't cast Narset. Wow, I hate that. Really, there's only one Volcanic Island in this list? I suppose that is true. Had to make room for all those basics somewhere. Alright, I still like having access to Red Blast, even if it's at the expense of other stuff. Oppo Agent, let's go. Brainstorm in response. Okay. This would be the turn to draw some untapped blue source. Shove Narset with Red Blast back up while they're tapped out of their own reds. And Oppo's in there causing trouble. Blue source, Island, Force of Will. Not quite what I wanted. I am going to Cling to Dust their Wasteland. I know I was trying to save this for Uro, but if I hit my blue source right now, great. Nice deck. Okay, attacking with Opposition Agent. I have plenty of resources to escape this once this game. They are not representing Endurance with the mana they have. Attack. And go for a Ponder. Okay, they do like the aggro, beat up your cantrips game. And that is probably related to my color screw right now. They have messed with my ability to get my land set up twice, so that is the effect that's occurring in this game right now. Though there are also 2 Pyroblasts in their graveyard versus the 2 Busted Planeswalkers in my hand. That's a matchup that I hope we end up exploring as the game moves forward. Cool. Okay, they don't know that I have a land. I'm going to make my attack first. And I'm going to fetch... I got rid of their Wasteland. I think I'm just going to get Underground Sea. There's no way that this deck plays back to basics. I'm going to start with Narset. If they have Red Blast, I want this one to get countered. Force of Will, pitching Lorien Revealed, Red Elemental Blast, Gale of Summer. Fuck me. Okay. Save Jace or win the fight over Narset. These are my options right now. Sorry, Jace. We're doing it. Countering the Veil. They saved a Flusterstorm for the bottom of this deck. We're so dead. Force back. Oh no. This is a nightmare. Okay. This was a very good turn for my opponent. Okay. They have 3 cards in their hand. They still can't fetch. And I have Cling to Dust. Oh, there's a pause in the draw step. They had Terminus just randomly on top of their deck right now. Okay. If they had it, they declined it. They hadn't paused up to this point. Inskin Boo. Annoying. Okay. Orcish Bowmaster. A good draw here. Lightning Bolt. A good draw here. Cold Gun's Command. Good draw. Probably just don't attack, actually. Yeah, that's better. Cling to Dust. Gonna have to flashback Cling to Dust. Get rid of Veil of Summer. That card hurt my feelings. And try to draw a relevant spell here. Yeah, this sucks. This Minskin Boo is going to kill Opposition Agent and draw 4 cards, and then I'm probably out of the game forever. That was a surprisingly effective pile of cards in hand. Force blue card, Veil of Summer. Yuck. Yep. Roasting my Oppo, drawing 4 cards, unlocking everything. Really needed Bowmasters that last turn to punish this line. Brazen Borrower would have been good too. Just bounce the thing in response to the activation. Add Veil of Summer to the list of green cards that destroy black control mirrors. You get Light from the Loam, Uro, Veil of Summer, Carpet of Flowers, which we haven't seen. But yeah, green trumps black in the way that black trumps white in all these legacy control matchups. Okay, deck. There's still good cards in here. Guess I'll start with this one. This draws a card more cheaply than Cling to Dust does. I will scoop to dress down here. That works. Yeah, I can't actually win this game anymore. Alright, GG's. On to the next one.
You come here to level up at Magic.
To level up as a software engineer, check out the new YouTube series Dev Better, hosted by the founder of 7Factor Software and Magic player, Jeremy Duvall. 7Factor's small teams of high-performing engineers build custom mobile apps, APIs, and highly scalable systems for Fortune 500 companies and ambitious startups with great ideas. If you'd like to hire 7Factor, or maybe join their team, contact them through their website at 7factor.io. And don't forget to subscribe to 7Factor's YouTube for every episode of Dev Better. On the play in round 3 with Thoughtseize and some stuff to do. Done deal. Just going to fire off Thoughtseize, and I'm going to get Underground Sea to do it. I could see an argument for playing around Wasteland. I just think that Wasteland is not that popular right now. Jeez. Another Control Mirror. I think I'm going to take Lorien Revealed, because that's kind of like taking a land drop from them. Where'd all the Mind's Desire decks go? What happened to Death Shadow? I thought that was the best deck in the format. Hey, I can Lightning Bolt this Dryad Arbor that they're probably searching for right now. Yep. And they did it off Basic Forest. That's a really aggressive choice. And I understand I'm showing you potential Grixis Tempo stuff, but also like, woof, you gotta cast your spells. Playing to Dust will answer that Uro in their hand eventually. Casting the Lightning Bolt now. I don't think I need Force for a while here. And ship the Brazen Borrower. I could also just ship the land. Yeah, I'm going to ship the Borrower. And then get bad lands and Lightning Bolt. That Forest they fetch doesn't even cast the Brainstorm. Unless they drew an island last turn and they know this is going to work. Okay, that's fair now. I believe. A Green Sun Zenith. Getting Delighted Halfling. Okay, now Minskinbu's uncounterable. I think I want to play Basic Island and Ponder, leave up. Or, no, red and black are the colors of all my removal. Alright, I'm just going to Ponder with the land that's already in play. Another Ponder, where I could shuffle. I'm going to shuffle. Come on, deck full of removal. Can I have one, please? I'm going to do a ugly Brainstorm here, because if they have the land for Minskinbu, I'm just dead. Alright, well, guess I'm just dead. Okay, don't have the land, please. That's what I'm asking of you right now. Just cast Uro and pass the turn. Okay, cool. Well, we're not getting Minskinbu this turn. That's a relief. And I have Force if we can find an answer to Halfling. Unfortunately, Uro is the life gain mode of Cling to Dust, and not the card draw version. I want more cards here. I don't care about 3 life. I only care about 3 life when I'm at 3 versus 3 Chandra Emblems. Any other time, I don't care about my life total. They did find their land. And I'm going to shuffle here and then play Strix and see what happens. Okay, black, blue. It doesn't matter holding up Force of Will if I can't answer this Halfling. Fetching in response. Am I going to get Bowmastered? Wow, I am going to get Bowmastered. Okay, I'm going to Cling to Dust, target Brainstorm in response. No, probably it lands better. It's more likely they have Life from the Loam than anything else. And I have 2 red removal spells and 2 black removal spells in the deck, so that's a wash. But if I draw Brainstorm, I can keep digging. Cling the Catacombs. Shelter the Edict. That's so close to being something useful. Alright, Strix dies, and I take 1 afterwards, and you get a 2-2, and you play Minskinbu next turn. Life is hard. Remember when we Thoughtseize their hand and it was completely non-functional, and 1 turn later, they had 4 lands and Delighted Halfling? That was a good time. Fairy Time Raveler. Okay. What are we worried about with shoving the uncounterable Minskinbu on this board? I'm generally inclined to do that sort of thing. My own Bowmasters. Neat. Okay. Bowmaster. Kill your Bowmaster. Zappy Zappy. Shelter's Edict. Sacrifice a Planeswalker. I mean, it sucks, but there goes my answer to Minskinbu. I guess maybe sacrifice a non-token creature clearing the Halfling. Then maybe they just don't have mana for this. Force pitching Uro. Okay. Alright, they had an answer anyway. Yep, red in the pool off the Halfling. Cool. Alright, super safe here. Basically nothing that can go wrong. You'd even sack Boo to kill Bowmaster and just... yeah, they're actually doing that. Nice, clean little exchanges. So Bowmaster does see itself die in this case because that's how damage works, and this kills Minskinboo. Okay. Don't know that I would have caught that in paper, but wow, that looked actually really bad. I'm really happy with that exchange. But yeah, that is how that would work. The effect fully resolves, and then the game checks for damage. And suddenly, the fairy's gone, and I can force things that aren't legends, and I can draw cards with Cling to Dust. Interesting. That little rules fold, giving us new life. Oh good, we have another Minskinboo. Neat. Okay, my out here is to Cling to Dust, draw a card, and basically just hope it's Lightning Bolt. I have one left. Alright, let's hit that one outer. Yep, Force of Will. Delighted Halfling, obliterating me throughout the entire game. Snapcaster can clear Minskinboo, but I don't know what I'm doing against these 6 power, 7 power in play, even if that does happen. Sorin the Mirthless. I'm not going to give them the satisfaction of knowing Sorin was here. I'm out. Sorin didn't lose. You lost. Plague Engineer on a hamster is a tool that exists. Probably want some number of Pyroblasts, but not as many because their threats are uncounterable and or not red. I think being able to answer Minskinboo is important. I hate that they're a creature deck and permanent deck. It's just a 0 force situation. And we just run it 1-for-1 interaction on the board. I think Plague Engineer probably sucks, actually. Or no, it can name Orc when it's not naming Hamster. Nope, back in. In fact, in higher numbers. Narset can chill out a little bit. One Narset, I could go one card deeper and get Pyroblast in here. The Surgical Extractions, we saw Uro, but I do have the Clings, and I have other stuff I want to be doing here. I think Strix should be Hydroblast also. Strix is just low impact and lines up really badly against Orcish Bowmaster. Okay, I'm gonna try this. This respects the creature Zenith half of the deck. Mulligan this No-Lander. Okay, here's this. I'm gonna keep this and bottom Snapcaster Mage. I think Kolaghan's Command is better among the 3 mana options I have here. I think we saw Wasteland, though I might be blurring together with the last round, but I can't get basic Island anyway. So I'm just going to get Underground Sea and start with a Ponder. Okay, kind of hate the other 2 cards, but I will take the land here. Misty Rainforest and Zenith for Dryad Arbor. Brainstorm sees 2 new cards versus Ponder. Yeah, I think Ponder is actually better here. Another Thoughtseize. I do want the land. Alright, I'm just going to take the land and then Badlands Thoughtseize them and hope this does what it needs to buy me time to Kolaghan's Command and Stone Rain them. Grist, Endurance, 2 Plows. Grist can kiss my ass. Get out of here. Hate that card. Can never beat that card in any format. Endurance is castable here. I don't think I care though. Played a basic island. Yeah, we did know about that one. No attack. Opponent's a coward. What's going on? We're just endurancing in the upkeep. Yeah, they seem worried about Murktide Regent, a card that I do not play. Okay, Endurance is gone, and I'm just going to fetch the Valk and K-Command, or discard, kill. You discard a card, kill Dryad Arbor. They probably just lose a Plow here, but my deck has creatures in it. 2 for 1 that sets them back a mana, deal. The nuts would be if they play a fetch land and pass, because they have Tundra Plow. They don't have to be exposed opposition agent ever, but it would be cool if they were. Didn't fall for it. They also have Teferi. Halfling, okay. An annoying magic card, but I did sideboard to respect it. I like this Lightning Bolt a lot. I'm going to ponder off of Underground Sea, see what I can come up with. Plague Engineer doesn't do anything. Actually, all of this sucks. I'm going to shuffle it. Photobug. And I could Brainstorm, try to do more stuff, or I could just bolt the Halfling. I'm going to do that. Oppo Agent might still get a big blowout here. Okay, not like that, I won't. They are Zenith deck. That is the core of their strategy. If they ever tap out for Zenith, they go straight to hell. Leovold, Emissary of Trust. Well, better brainstorm in response to that one. Narset and land. Okay. I'll put the land under the Narset. I think I'm just going to run out Plague Engineer on Hamster. I know about that plow. I'm kind of hoping for a big Oppo agent blowout at some point in my life. This thing having Death Touch is annoying enough that maybe they mess with it. But my life total is dead in 2 hits, whether they plow or not. So the plow's totally free, and I have to win this game without drawing any cards after that. There's the plow. I'm at 11. I take 6 down to 5, then I fetch down to 4. I know my top card is not good. What saves me here? Baleful Strix can just get in the way, kinda. Alright, I guess I'll just get an Underground Sea and hope I'm alive. Oppo Agent can trade with Leovold in combat, then I'm at 1 and I can start using my cantrips. Seems like the best plan I'm going to get here. Surprise. 3-2 blocker. Surprise, Swords of Plowshares. Oh, even better. Just dead. I'm glad Leyline Binding showed up to balance Legacy. But yeah, once again, green deck, pummeling, black deck in a control mirror. Was this all 5? Did we see red? Yeah, Minsc and Boo. Yeah, this is just the full 5er Zenith in a non-Yorion package. Powerful stuff. On to the next round. The Command Tower software by Eminence Gaming is perfect for hosting TCG events. It features easy-to-create event registration for 1v1 and 4-player Swiss structured tournaments. Event management has never been so simple, and it's web-based, so there's no download required. Get access for just $5 at eminence.event/subscribe. On the draw for round 4. Got a Baleful Strix and a Force Will. I'm in. Please be a creature deck. Mysterian Forest. Island. Ponder. Oh baby, we're in it again. Did not shuffle. I'll do something similar. I'm not going to hold up Fatal Push. Seems unlikely that I'll want Lightning Bolt, but if it's a Delver deck that led on a basic, Lightning Bolt's going to be great. If it's a Planeswalker deck, Lightning Bolt's going to be great. Lightning Bolt's only bad if they're specifically combo. And even some combo decks, like Doomsday, can get fast and loose with their life total. Unfortunately, Ad Nauseam is soft banned now that Mind's Desire is legal. Not really. Cards that go in the same deck, and Desire is really good. Another Prismatic Vista strategy. Okay, I can shuffle and draw a random card or just Strix and draw this land. If we're settling in here, I think I might want land number 4. I can brainstorm it away next turn, and if I don't. But Jace and Sorin are going to be how I win these games. If we're in a Journal Fest. Fetching up Plains, please Plowless. Island, Plains. This is Narset mana. This is why I kept Lightning Bolt around. I'm going to save my Force Will for bigger fish. Uh-oh, a force of their own. That's hardly fair. Okay, Volcanic Island. I'm going to just bolt Narset. Cool. They didn't fight over that. I appreciate it. And attack with my Baleful Strix. Now we figure out what they're really doing. They're playing the One Ring. That's what they're really doing. I'm going to start by forcing it. I know they can force back. In fact, I am certain they will. I think my best plan in that world is to get to my turn, brainstorm. Oh, Jace, Wielder of Mysteries in exile. That's spooky. Okay, I'm going to get to my turn, do a full value brainstorm, rather than try to brainstorm for Force plus blue card right now. I want to get to my turn, brainstorm, and cast one of my many Narsets. I think that's the real way out of this. Even Bowmaster is reasonable. A brainstorm, find me a Narset. Can we do it? Only, kinda. Okay, Bowmaster, if I put this into play now, it has to ping me, because my opponent has protection from stuff. Yeah, I guess I'll wait until they activate their ring, and then try to get them for the extra 2. Or not. Great. Everything's coming up my way. Okay, they're not worried about this, because they can just bounce it with Teferi. And they have Swords of Plowshares in their hand. Also a good reason not to be worried about that. And then drawing 2 cards. Blessing Teferi, okay. Alright, deck. I would still take that Narset. if you want to offer it up. It's not too late. It is too late for Force of Will. Thanks for nothing. Blue, black. Drawing a card. Sheoldred's Edict. Don't hate that. Sacrifice a Planeswalker, please. Force pitching Beestorm. You got it. I think I'm just going face with my damage here. They have a ring that's going to deal some damage to them. Teferi can bounce it, but then Teferi's not taking pressure off of me. I don't think I win this game by just putting 2 random damage on Teferi here. Teferi clears my army. Ring goes up to 3. Re-ringing right away. Okay. I draw for my turn. Bowmaster's not bad. I'm going to attack Teferi, and if they want to save Teferi, they have to use a removal spell. And if they use that removal spell, that's 1 less for Bowmasters. I kind of hope they do plow here. Cool. Just 1? Just 1, please? Cool. Alright. I mean, they've only drawn 105 cards. What are the chances they have another Force of Will? We're in there. Okay, Teferi's dead. No blue card to back up my Force here, but they are at 8, and Bowmasters is in play. Bowmasters no longer in play. And this one does not work the way Minsc and Boo does. If Teferi bounces Bowmasters, it's actually just gone, and there's no ping. It's just how the rules are with the resolution of effects. And they had a prismatic ending anyway. Still got the Teferi activation in the bank. Did not shuffle Ponder. Oh, we're banned. Uh-oh. I was worried when they were just blue-white. What are we doing with green mana? Stop it. Okay, I'm going to continue attacking my opponent's life points directly. I don't think it's going to win the game, but it's the only plan I've got. If I let up on damage and they start getting this card advantage free of charge, I am slain. Okay, they just tapped their ring up to 3, and they're at 3. Clearly they have a plan. Only 9 cards in their hand. They had 2 like 1 turn ago. I bounced their ring. It does use the Teferi activation, and then they can replay ring. And I can attack Teferi. Oh, this is a 5-mana spell. This is not the ring. I hope it's Paradox Zone. Oh, yeah! Okay. Now we're having a party. They can discard the cards in their hand. Tap or untap target artifact, creature, or land. They can untap 3 lands here, play the ring, tap the ring to draw a card, discard that card to untap the ring, then draw 2 cards, then discard the worst of them, and draw their whole deck here. That's why we saw the Jace Unraveler of Mysteries. This rules. Big fan. Congratulations, opponent. You're a real hero in a time where the world needs heroes. And they probably just win all right now, too, because you get enough cards here that you can untap 2 lands and play Thassa's Oracle after you draw your deck. I just want to see it happen. Wow, discarding Uro straight to the graveyard for Mind Over Matter. Awesome. This rules so hard. 10 cards left in the deck. So their deck size did not line up cleanly with ring activations. If they activate the ring again, they have 4 cards left. Then if they activate the ring, they die. So they have to put a Jace into play before then, which doesn't seem like it's going to be a problem. Yeah, if you would draw a card, it has nothing to do with an ability that was activated. It just has to be there. Endurance, target yourself. Awesome. Put all those cards back in to go again. That's not where the Jace is. And you can't target yourself because you have protection from everything. Cool. Also, fascinating. I have to play this out until I see a second Jace. Teferi again. Bouncing the ring again. Okay. I didn't expect to get a turn here. Oh, they're not done. Still doing stuff. I guess they realized they were going to clean up anyway. Might as well untap a couple lands. Cool. That was awesome, but it did come to an end. I'm going to fetch for Badlands and then cast Fatal Push on the Endurance. Then I'm going to attack Teferi with both of my creatures. There goes 1. Sorry for motorcycle noises, if you just heard those. I'm in a different room of my house that's much closer to the road now. Okay. Endurance. This one does work. Or no, you still have protection from everything. Because it's still not your turn yet. My creature is dead. And I will ponder and try to make something happen. Thoughtseize. They have protection from everything. That one's not going to do anything. Shuffle. Narset. Hello. That's an interesting game object on this board. I can't activate her because of stupid Endurance. but she will be in play for a turn. Durant's taking a chunk out of old Narset here. I was just going to say its second Narset is my best draw, because now I can yeet this one, get Fatal Push. Just how we drew it up. Kill your creature, question mark. I love that I don't even have to think about sequencing any of this, because they have Teferi. Just like, yeah, you just cast the spell that you have. And then it works or it doesn't. I wish there was a ring in play for all of these things. I guess right now, actually, I have a window where it might be effective. All right, I'm going to go for one of my edicts here. Did not get there. Lightning bolting there to Teferi, though, doesn't feel like a complete waste of time. Oh no, there it's 3! They're at 3! What have I done? Oh my god, I'm such a dingus. Oh, thanks for forcing that. Making me feel like I didn't just throw the game into shit. What the fuck is wrong with me? Yeah, just tunnel vision on the wrong stuff there. They had force, though. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I didn't punt. Okay, one ring's back. Are they going to try to combo off? Are they just getting protection for the turn? What is the line? Cling to dust. Okay. I'm going to start clinging stuff out of their graveyard. But not stuff that doesn't kill me. I can cling twice. There are 2 Uros over there. Actually, Uro is a huge problem for me. I guess I am clinging Uros. Get rid of Uro and get rid of Uro. I see 2 of them. This does remove their 2 obvious face-up ways to gain life. I'm at 26. We're hanging out. You're at 2. Activating the ring becomes very dangerous. Remember when I bolted Teferi and they were at 3? That was a good play. I had 6 cards left in their deck. Narset in play. 2 life. There are more lightning bolts in my deck, and now I know what their life total is. Narset found Ponder. 5 cards left. You cast Ponder, you're at 4 cards. Is there really only one Jace? And they pitched it to force early on. Halfling, okay. Just pass the turn here. 3 cards in your deck. You're attacking for 4 a turn. 4 times 4 is not 23. Oh, Teferi can just bounce Endurance, and then they pick up all their stuff. No, this is not an out. I actually do need to find Lightning Bolt and win the game. Teferi didn't do that, though. Snapcaster. Bolt's not in my graveyard. If I snap exile something, I get a redraw. That could be anything, even a Lightning Bolt. Or no, I don't get a redraw because they have Narset. Right. I'm in trouble, is what you're saying. If they wait one more turn to bounce Endurance, they actually die for bouncing Endurance. If they don't see that line or don't take it in time, we're in business. 1 card in the deck. They knew about it. They figured it out. All right, now they can just draw their deck again. All right, looking for Lightning Bolt. But now that their graveyard is back in their deck, they can ring loop until they find Force of Will. Okay, they're activating the ring now. They're just like, whatever, YOLO. Okay, here we go. It's party time. Yeah, they're just going back through the deck here. Gonna fill their hand with forces and stuff. Back up to Teferi, clears the ring so they can draw till they're happy, and then just get rid of that. They also have protection from everything if they replay it. Drew a bunch of cards. Teferi bounced the ring. 13 cards in hand. Yep. Polygon's Command. They have protection from everything. It's a real shame, because that's a good draw otherwise. Okay. I guess I passed the turn here. My plan is Polygon's Command, snap Polygon's Command. That plays through forces. Or it plays through a force. I'm at 9. I'm just going to fetch, because Brainstorm doesn't work anyway. They could also just discard 7 cards, tap all my lands, and then attack for... It's not quite lethal, so I guess they can't do that. Okay, Polygon's Command. 2 damage to someone, and discard a card. Black, red, colorless. 2 Force of Wills does not beat this. They can cantrip through their deck in response. Yeah, but they have to hardcast at least one of the forces. Ponder didn't shuffle. Ring draws a card. They pitch cast Force. They go to 1. Alright, looks like we're ring digging in response here. Untapped the ring. If ring goes up to 2, you have to remove it at instant speed, or else you die in your upkeep. Brainstorm. Is it possible they don't have it here? How could that even be? Through their deck. Okay. And now if they pitch cast Force, they die to their ring. So let's try that again. Endurance is in the deck if they pitch cast that, but that didn't happen. Discard a card, deal 2. Okay, F6 question mark. Can't really force, can't really dig. Plowing your endurance, okay. That is a way out of this. Temporary reprieve. Sure, okay. Oh, they're at 2. Alright, we're somehow still playing this game. I am just gonna trade off with these, because Mind over Matter can tap my creatures. I think just giving myself more draw steps to find more burn is probably the way to do this. Brainstorm, not helpful. They go to 1 in their upkeep. Okay, re-endurance yourself. They go to 1 in their upkeep, and then Teferi can clear the ring, but if Teferi is the plan, then Teferi's gone, and Force of Will's alive. Not 1, but so are you. Drawing 2 cards with the ring. Playing a second ring is probably the best way to get yourself through this, rather than bouncing it with Teferi. That keeps the protection and puts protection from everything bubble around you. Okay, cool. You did it. What a wild deck. Sideboarding here. I think Force of Negation, Spell Pierce, all very important. I don't know if Opposition Agent is important, but I do like it. Null Rod, Pyroblast, Bowmasters, Shoulder's Edict. Fatal Push seems pretty bad. We saw some halflings, that's terrifying. Lightning Bolt hits planeswalkers and halflings. We saw some Uros. There were 2 Uros in this giant pile of cards. Baleful Strix seems slow and terrible. It's bad news when you start cutting Baleful Strix, because that's really your win con. But I do happen to also think it's kind of bad. Snapcaster seems reasonable, so does Brazen Borrower. Polygon's Command actually seems kind of bad too. Dealing 2 to planeswalkers is good, but you can't kill the 1 artifact that you really care about. It cannot be destructed. I'm just dropping another Strix here. I'm not happy about any of this, but I believe this is the plan that I have. Okay, I'm going to keep this hand with Null Rod in it. Opponent's got a Forest Halfling. Cool. Island, Brainstorm. Let's find a Lightning Bolt. No love. And pass the turn. Halfling's getting a taste here. No Teferi. That's good news. And fetch. Probably get Underground Sea on this board. And another Underground Sea. Good stuff. I'm just going to drop the Null Rod. Just put it face up. If their plan was to cast One Ring on turn 4, I'd like it to stop. In their Prismatic Ending deck, they have answers to this. I would just like to put it down there and make them answer it before their engine draws answers to it. Brainstorm. Attacking with more halfling action. Okay, I can kill that creature. Or I could snap Brainstorm. I'm going to snap Brainstorm. I need to fix this hand. Off we go. Lightning Bolt, what's up? Okay, this is too many lands. Get rid of one of the lands and probably... if I shuffle away this Cling to Dust, I'll feel so stupid if they just jam Uro next turn. Okay, I'm just going to get rid of the lands. Fetching in response to my fetch. But why? Get Volcanic Island. And I'm going to Lightning Bolt now, where they can't hardcast Force of Negation. Okay, that's handled. And I have Force. I have to pitch Jace to do it, but there's a plan here. Brainstorm. Brainstorm pass, okay. Thoughtseize, alright, that's a good one. I can Thoughtseize and hardcast Force of Negation this turn. I'm not going to attack into this face-up Endurance, so let's take a look at it first. It's represented Endurance, it's not actually face-up. Well, that land doesn't cast Endurance. I have to Force of Negation this Veil. That's too much of a blowout. Ouch, alright. Well, we're getting blown out. At least we ended up card neutral on that, because they had to pitch a card to force. And it's a force that won't be killing this Jace. Or countering this Jace. Fairies here. Bouncing Snapcaster is not even good value. Bouncing Null Rod, it just comes back down. They'll probably plus here, would be my guess. Yep. And I'm gonna attack Teferi. I probably should have played Jace and Brainstormed before I did this. Because if I Brainstorm into Pyroblast, that was a wasted attack. And now that they have Teferi, I don't have to pretend I can do anything here. Just jam my best card, hope it works. Tapped wrong for this Thoughtseize. It's turn 6, though. I should have a land drop. Am I more worried about Planeswalkers or Uro? I can bounce Uro, I guess. Okay, Cling to Dust is gone. Oh, did I miss a land drop at some point? Why is it turn 6 and I don't have one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Must have missed a land drop. Okay. Yeah, I played to leaving up Lightning Bolt or Pyroblast, either of which clears to Fairy, and just drew the Thoughtseize. So, LOL at me, I guess. Ended up with the Cling anyway. That's what I wanted. Got him. Thoughtseize you. Plowing in response. Don't care. Force Brainstorm. Can hardcast Force, but I don't care about that. I'm going to take the Brainstorm and just beat you with Jace. That's my plan. Right, I'm going to Brainstorm. Probably one more time, then I'll start plussing. Oh, sick. Thoughtseize your Force also. Alright, opponent's Hellbent. Deck's covered in cards I don't want. Jolder's Edict. Each opponent's decks a Planeswalker. And they are top decking versus Jace the Mind Sculptor. And the One Ring is dead. And I can answer Uro. Alrighty. We're doing stuff. I'm going to Cling to Dust something in the end step. I'll take this Veil of Summer. I just want to redraw here. Start spending my mana, pulling ahead. The card's just as good in the graveyard as it is in my hand. Oh, did I get tricked somehow? Oh, Endurance, sure. Yep, that does answer the Cling to Dust. Kinda. It already drew a card. Ponder, please find me an answer to Endurance so I don't have to do J stuff. Oh, wow. Alright. Stacked the F up here. Do not shuffle my library. Plus Jace target you. Do not shuffle the library. I tend to just always not shuffle the library when they have a fetch land. Luckily, Ponder's not even like particularly spooky. But if they shuffle, yeah, there we go. If they fetch that away, like if that was some game ender, I would just bottom it and do my due diligence. But something like Ponder that's like mid to fine. Okay, glad I have a second creature here. Pew pew. 1 to you. Block with Orc Army. Kolagon's Command is on top of my deck. Yeah, I like that card enough. I'll keep it. All right, they've had enough. With 6 minutes on their clock, they probably should concede in that spot. Good call. And I think this configuration is as good as it gets. That Null Rod. We'll never know what a hero it could have been. It certainly cut off most of their best draws in their deck. Thoughtseize Null Rod. Snap it. Island, Ponder. Good start. Badlands, Thoughtseize. Just get in there. Show me what they're working with. Uro Teferi, Force of Will. I'm going to take Teferi. If they force the Null Rod, that's like Hymn to Turok early on, and then I can follow that up with Narset. All things that I like. There's the Null Rod. They could also just shove Uro into this and protect it. Yeah, I wouldn't force this either. A hand not indicating concern for what's going on. Probably see Uro here unless they drew another Teferi. There's Uro. Would be great to find that Cling. They declined to put a land into play. Narset would draw the Force here. So I'm going to try to work through it. Nice. Red Blast, exactly what the doctor ordered. And pass the turn. Well, Uro did not make a land drop last turn. And they don't have 5 cards in the graveyard. All good stuff. This Ponder is card number 5, but they're going to struggle to get 4 mana here. They also don't have double green. Okay, now they have all of this, and it's protected by this jerk. I mean, fine. I guess I could have forced that jerk. But my plan is to brick up with Narset. Get Underground Sea. I already have a bunch of red sources. And Narset with Pyroblast protection. They pitch the Supreme Verdict that we knew they had. Narset comes in, get to work finding an answer to Delighted Halfling. Force Negation was the only hit there. Halfling is their means to cast Uro. They have to kind of decide if they want to poke on the Narset or just get their 6/6 into play that doesn't draw cards. They went with Team 6/6, it appears. Alright, I get to see a lot of cards to try to answer this Uro before it clears Narset. They gain some life, they do not draw cards. 5 minutes on their clock. Pyroblast answers Uro. Nice, okay. I'm going to start with a Brainstorm, because this Delighted Halfling clearing Narset's actually super annoying. I'm going to put back 2 of the Force of Wills, and I'm going to Red Blast Uro, because I can hardcast Force of Negation here. And I'm just going to leave Narset in play. No attack with Halfling. They do know I have Snapcaster Mage and Orcish Bowmaster in my deck. I was surprisingly disciplined. And I'm going to Force of Negation this. They should have done this pre-combat, and then they would have seen that I was tapped out, not have to worry about creatures. Unless they're going to do something second main with this mana. But yeah, that was a little sequencing sniffu. Blue-black, Baleful Strix, now between my Halfling and my Planeswalker. Thoughtseize, what are you working with? Give me more. Mind over Matter, Jace, Endurance. I think I want Jace to go. And I'm not really worried about any of this other stuff. Cling to Dust, now in my hand. Deals with Uro. Alright. They can just shove Mind over Matter here. Oh no, that's a 6-drop, jeez. End step, I'm going to cling the Jace. I'd like to draw a card. I would like... Because if they don't have 5 cards, Uro's already answered. Right now I can hard cast Force of Will, or Snap Pyro, or Snap Brainstorm, or whatever. Got a lot of options here. I guess I'm going to Snap Brainstorm. Just want to start dealing some damage. Oh wow, they've had enough. We did it. We beat this crazy ring deck. On to the final round. For the absolute best Magic the Gathering apparel on the market, check out the link in the video description to coalesceapparel.shop, and be sure to use the code BoshNRoll for 10% off when you check out. I'm on the play in the final round against another Yorion deck. I just can't catch a break here. Kind of hoping this league would be like done in 2 hours and I could move on, do something else with my day, but looks like we're getting every drop out of this one. Opponent is on a mull to 6. I'm going to Underground Sea Thoughtseize. I can fetch and cast Ponder if they have Wasteland. Not going to miss land drops here. They do have Wasteland. Lighted Halfling. I'm sick of that thing. I'm going to take Green Sun Zenith, though. I can bolt a Halfling. It's not a big deal. Misty Rainforest. Looks like they're going for the Halfling here. There it is. I'm going to Ponder first. Hopefully find a land. Alright, found several lands. Sorry, Narset, I have to shuffle you anyway. And I'm going to do the bad lands here, because that Volcanic Island I've become quite protective of. Wasteland here is just not advancing the board. Yeah, kind of a desperation line. Just do anything when nothing else is happening. Ponder. Force Children's Edict. I actually want none of these. I'm interested in land number 3. Shuffle my library, hit the Volcanic Island that I'm so protective of. Do have another land. If they have Life from the Loam here, I'm going to Cling to Dust the Wasteland. I'll probably Cling to Dust the Wasteland no matter what, honestly. What a payout. They grab Badlands, Cling the Wasteland. I would like to Cling the Loam, but I don't really want to get wasted again. Cool. That's handled. I'm not a Wasteland deck. I don't mind them hitting their land drops. I just need them not to be wasting me out while they do it. Okay, I'm going to play my land and leave up Underground Sea for Strix. This casts Ponder or Thoughtseize. Doesn't cast Lightning Bolt, but I don't need to cast Lightning Bolt here. Dredging Loam, hit Windswept Heath, Brainstorm, Endurance. And just loaming 2 lands up. That's fine. Snapcaster Mage. I can Snap Cling the Endurance or the Loam, but I just don't care. Is the problem. I think I want to Snap Ponder here, actually. Hitting my land drop would be nice. Adding to this board is nice. I'm holding Force of Will. I don't need to Thoughtseize them. Oh, here we go. I like a Bowmaster. I like a land drop. Let's get it. Still Dredging Loam. And now that I have my 4th land, Cling to Dust is live to clip an Uro. Just playing and Dredging Loam is not changing the contents of their hand, really. I think we're going to see a Prismatic Ending on Snapcaster here. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, all of that is kind of whatever, honestly. I think I'm just going to attack with Baleful Strix and pass the turn. I'm going to set a stop in their draw step, just in case they do mill over an Uro. I want to make sure I have priority to exile it before they can cast it. If they stop doing that. Now let's see a big Brainstorm to pay out all those lands in your hand. Pew 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 pew. Misty Rainforest. Fetch. 13 life over there. I can bolt a Midskin hard cast Lorien revealed, hook it to my veins, Lord of the Rings limited, coming in hot. Maybe I'm supposed to counter this, but I'm pretty sure they're just dead. They dredged loam on one of them. That saves them a couple of damage. All right, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, with Kolaghan's Command and Bolt, I believe I have Xaxes here. Bolt ya. And they have to go to cleanup. Thalia and Get Rog Monster, gross. They are deeply in the legacy tank here. They put you to 2 and then K command your face with force backup. Heal 2 to any target and sure, discard a card while we're at it. Bang. We did it. Okay, one more to go. Positive record on the line in this pretty hostile league, honestly. Just 5 control decks. 4 of them have green in them. Just kind of moving spells around, turning low impact spells and 2-for-1s in, or 1-for-2s into 1-for-1s and higher impact spells. And here we are. 1 lander with Ponder. Got to stand for something in this world. Keep it. Wooded Foothills. I think basic island is in order here. There's just some risk involved in missing. Okay, we didn't miss. In fact, did quite well. Found a land to cast Baleful Strix and a land under that as well. And Big Sorin in the hand. The league started with a Sorin win. Let's end it with a Sorin win as well. Green Sun Zenith for X equals 1. This is probably getting a halfling, and I will just edict that. We don't need to go fast. Each opponent sacrifices a non-token creature. Don't need to go fast, just need to go steady. Like we're a 1960s movie couple. At land go, love it. No Teferi, no Uro, no nothing. Bunch of farting around. I'm going to play Baleful Strix with Red Blast available. Okay, there's land number 4. When I get to land 5, I can play Sorin with Force and Red backup. I can also just shove Sorin on 4 with Force backup. Kind of the point of Sorin is that he's hard to counter. Zenith for 3. I think I just force this. I'm going to pitch Ponder. Don't really want to deal with this. If they force back, Red Blast is a massive beating. Okay, they didn't fight over that. That kind of makes me think they don't have the ability to. And I'm going to lean into that and go Big Sorin. Yeah, we're in there. Draw a card. I'll take 5 for Force of Will. All right, nope. Wasn't a Force of Will, just a Badlands, but that's in my hand now. Haste creatures that could be in their deck are like Minskin Boo token and maybe Questing Beast, and Baleful Strix doesn't effectively block either of those anyway, so I'm just going to attack. Got to get them to 13, get that Sword Bite going. We are unfortunately in range of Prismatic Ending for 4. This deck can Prismatic Ending for 5 even. They don't need all that, but they could. I'm gonna cast some stupid creature I don't care about. Tilt. Alright, sorry Sorin. Field 4 mana, draw a card. Just what you want to be doing in Legacy Magic the Gathering. I'm gonna Ponder first. I like enough of the cards in my hand that I don't think I want to Brainstorm just yet. Sick. Alright, the Orcish Bowmasters are here, and I'm gonna attack. At some point, I'll figure out what my play pattern is supposed to be of when I'm supposed to main phase Bowmaster and when I'm supposed to flash it in. But this seems like a board I'm happy to flash it in on. Ponder. I'll master your bow in response. Target you. Swords of Plowshares. That's fair. He's gone. They're gone. There's more than one in the art. 1 card left in hand, plus whatever this Ponder does. I want to hold the Red Blast for possible Yorion shenanigans. Did not shuffle. Brainstorm now. Okay. Carry on. That's going to see 2 of the same 3 cards that Ponder just saw. Wrist the Hunger Tide. Not currently interact with this card. Do I need to? I don't think so. It's in. Right, milling. Mill to land. In the end step, I'm going to cling something out of the graveyard. I think Plow. Edict kills Grist. Brainstorm can do stuff first. See what's cooking. Second Cling to Dust. And Snapcaster, that's pretty nutty. I don't need this land, and I don't think I need this Bolt right away either. I'm going to attack first. let them make their blocks before they know they won't have a Planeswalker, and I'm just going face. Maybe I was supposed to keep Bolt over Cling here. Oh no, I'm tapping out of Bolt, Snap, Bolt anyway. That is my plan, to Edict them. Sack a Planeswalker and send it. Grist cleared one of the Brainstorm cards, but this is another card from Brainstorm. Okay, I'm going to Cling to Dust their Wasteland in response to this waste on my Underground Sea. Now Bolt's in my hand. My Bolt, Snap, Bolt line. Back to life. Orion Reveal, no thanks. Counter target blue spell. Didn't waste my red source. Appreciate that. Land and attack. I might have to Bolt, Snap, Bolt Yorion just to clear it. Or no, I have Snap Red Blast now. Duh. Snapcaster is just Demonic Tutor at this point. Oh, they're just passing. I hate that. Put Yorion in your hand. Do something predictable. Okay, good. Yeah, I'm gonna just flashback Cling to Dust. Exile. It's Prismatic Ending. I don't know if this is a deck that's gonna have Mystic Sanctuary in it, but I'm going after their good spells. That's why I'm choosing those targets. Okay, attack you. Drew 2 lands. That's okay. We're not in trouble yet. Yorion is gonna get Snap Red Blasted. It is better to counter it than to try to kill it with Sheoldred's Edict or anything, because they do have a card advantage spell to flicker. Oh, Hydroblast. Tight. That works. Okay. Alrighty. They will get to draw their card. Lightning Bolt finishes off Yorion if it blocks Snapcaster, and then Baleful Strix just touches it to death. Blue Elemental Blast. Not even sure if that card is good in the matchup. They are blocking with Yorion, bolting Yorion, and I am playing out my land because this Cling to Dust is a hungry little fella. Getting a little worried now. They have 3 cards in hand. They got stuff to do. Infinite mana, sure. I don't think mana was their gate here. That was mostly fine. Do get 1 million mana for the second main, though. Though they could front and back Uro here without giving me a chance to Cling it. That is possible with the resources they're showing me. Attracts a Grand Unifier, yikes. Alright, well, I'm going to Cling to Dust something that draws me a card. I suppose this Lorien Revealed works. I should fetch first. This lets me leave up better mana and raises my density of Red Blasts I can draw. Okay, Force of Will is good, Red Blast is good, Brainstorm finds me stuff. Alright, none of the above occurred. Handful of gas, including Slowgurk the Overslime and 4th Aerolingus. There's no force in that hand that I can see, so if I draw Red Blast or Snapcaster Mage right now, we're in business. Narset could be those things. Right, Narset, find me an answer to Atraxa, please. Dig. Lightning Bolt, that's not it. Thoughtseize, also not it. Not versus that Veil of Summer we can see. Yep, tough beats. Looks like the party is kind of coming to an end here. Oh, I can draw 1 more card right now. Or no, this is 5. Alright, never mind. I could draw a card but not do anything, so I'm just going to leave Narset in play. I think they have a Prismatic Ending in the hand, though. I'm actually just going to save time here. Okay, Narset is in this deck. Or Atraxa. Knowing that, I think I want 1 more Force of Will and 1 less Lightning Bolt. And I'm going to try this. Thoughtseize, but no mana to cast it. Mulligan. The Basic Mountain was a huge beating. Keep and send Brazen Borrower to the bottom. And a basic Island Ponder. Badlands, Narset, Red Elemental Blast. This is not great, but I don't think it's mulligan or shuffle worthy. I like Narset. I like that I have force backup. I just need to use Ponder to find another blue source to actually do this. And if they put Dryad Arbor or Halfling into play, that gets bolted and I Ponder and just get to use all my mana. Smooth and steady. All right, let's find a blue source. None of these are blue sources. I'm going to shuffle. Not only is it not a blue source, but it doesn't have a reasonable path to 1, which is my other gripe. That's not a wasteland. Fun of growth. Alright, deck, let's rip a blue source right now. Shove Narset. Get the thing going. Bummer. Alright, Thoughtseize you. Doing this now while the coast is clear. 4th Aerolingus. F that. Okay, their hand is lands and Prismatic Ending. Not exactly a world of hurt over there, but I do need to get something going. Blue source, card. I could have clinged to just draw a card, try to hit my blue source, but I'll do that in the end step. I think I'll just be a little patient on that in case they do Uro stuff this turn. Yorion's in their hand now. Kind of terrifying that Yorion is imminent before I even have my third land. Exile 4th Aerolingus. Oppo Agent, come on land. Ooh. Alright, Ponder is good though. That's a land. That's a Bowmaster. Okay, send it. And I think snagging that fetch there would have been so nice. Volcanic Island from hand. There's the fetch. Are we just shoving Yorion? Not on my watch. Do I even want Bowmaster, or do I want to take I want to take a shuffle here, actually. If I can stick Jace with counter backup, I think I'm in business. I didn't get there on Jace, but Narset is a good one. But they're going to have to answer. I know about Prismatic Ending in hand. Force of Will versus Thoughtseize. I think I actually want Ponder over all these things. Finding this 4th land is going to be important. They're going to have to Prismatic Ending my Narset this turn. And I think I let that happen. Yeah, I'm going to let that happen. Jace is a more important permanent than Narset is. Ponder. There's the land and another Pyroblast. Do not shuffle. Play the land. Play the Strix, which draws the Pyro. Then I can shuffle looking for land 5 to protect Jace again. Ponder. You're certainly hitting other land drops. Blighted Halfling. Hate that, but I can kill it. I'm going to get the Volcanic Island here. Land is pretty good. I'm actually going to Sheoldred's Edict. Each opponent sacks a non-token creature. Been holding on to this force for so long. Can't just give up on it now. A good attack in here. We know their hand has Boseiju in it, and then some mystery cards. I will shove Oppo into this fetch if they fetch, but I hope I get a Zenith for my trouble. 2 cards left in hand. Okay, I'm just going to shove Oppo. It can fetch in response, it's fine, but just put this card in. Wow, it just resolved. Not interested in fetching. Oh, wow. 2 cards in your hand. K-Command. I'm actually just going to attack with my creatures. And if they double block Oppo, I'll blow them out in combat. No double block today. And K-Command. 2 to the thing. Discard. You discard 2 to Halfling. Red, black, colorless. Veil of Summer's a beating here. Nice. Alright. That's gone. Boseiju's discarded. Prismatic Ending on Oppo. That's fine. I think Jace is more important still. Endurance. I don't care about that. Got rid of my graveyard. Whatever. Okay, I'm shoving Jace against a Hellbent opponent. Let's do it. Please, blue card. Any blue card. Nice. That counts. Jace. Plus target you. I'm just going to the dome here. Yes, and Zenith to the bottom. And that's an example that I was talking about last round where I will put actual game enders to the bottom and not mess around with this Fetchland chicken. Oh, they fetched anyway. Perfect. Not interested in manipulating my Jace selections. I have 2 counter spells if their spells are blue. I have 1 counter spell if their spell is not blue. If I untap, I can hardcast. Okay. If I draw a land, I have 2 things. Plus you with Jace. Yes, put Zenith on the bottom. And I'm just going to pass here. I'm not going to Thoughtseize and tap out of Force of Will. Just racing for the end game right now. I don't think this is actually the correct way to play this, but this league has gone on for a very long time, and I actually have somewhere to be, and I'm pretty stressed out about it. Little look behind the curtain here. I am going to Pyroblast this. I just feel like they're not doing anything, and this could make their bad hand into 2 good cards. Ugh, hate that. Well, now it's shields down Jace versus the top of their deck, for real, for real. Baleful Strix attack, or Dryad Arbor attacking is very smart. That turns Jace into +1 a turn, basically doubles their clock, and I can't block it because then Jace starts taking 3s. But you can have Wasteland and pass the turn. Dryad Arbor still doing its thing. As soon as I can remove that, we're totally stable. They're just wasting one of my random mana sources. Okay, cool. That's almost a cool card. How many Zeniths do you play? Send it to the bottom. Keep bottoming Zeniths. Endurance having Flash, kind of a tilt, but Jace is doing what he needs to do here. I'm not super worried about the speed of this as long as it continues to make forward progress. Slowgurk the Overslime. A counter target spell if it's blue. I know about Slowgurk. You can't get me. Big fan of that card. Brainstorm. I'm going to cast that. This Thoughtseize has not been good for a while. Narset. Find a blue source. Minus Narset. Having black and red up. Lightning Bolt completely stabilizes this board. There we go. Lightning Bolt. Okay. Plus target you. No, you can keep Brainstorm with Narset in hand, Lightning Bolt the Dryad Arbor, and pass. Okay. Feeling good now. They're drawing Brainstorm. It doesn't work. I just need the top 2 cards of their deck to not be runners that win them the game somehow. And I get to activate Narset in the meantime. Attacking, hope I don't block. Gotta play to your outs. I'm gonna block. Force of Will now to just put the feather in the cap. Icing on the cake. I don't know what phrase I'm looking for here. Zenith. No, you can actually keep the Zenith because I can counter it, and I know that you're dead. It'd be so much funnier if I had Oppo Age in here. There is this stupid thing that can happen, which I exile their deck with Jace, and then their hand becomes their deck, and if Greenstone Zenith is in their hand, they can just cast it for 0 every time they draw it, never deck. Obviously, that's a giant waste of time, and they're still going to lose the game because their deck doesn't do anything. But it is a thing. And they scooped it up. They don't even want to test. They believe that I have the counter if I let them keep it. Okay, salvaged a positive record with this in a pretty harsh field, actually. We played against more Uro decks than I've seen on the channel combined in like 3 or 4 weeks. This is a pretty spicy league. And these are not the matchups I would choose with this deck, but the deck did mostly rise to the occasion. And I could totally see how I'd want to be this versus any sort of combo. I can see how this would be good against the slightly smaller Delver deck. Like you're just a little bigger than them, get to pick off their stuff, and have a better late game. I get the appeal. I think that technology has kind of moved on since this deck was popular 3-4 weeks ago. And people really figured out the scam strat and the reanimation package and Troll of Khazad-dûm and a bunch of stuff that we didn't really know a month ago. And I'm not sure if this hangs as much anymore, but if you like Grixis Control, this is a perfectly fine choice. Thank you to my anonymous donor, and thank you all for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, check out the Patreon and all the sponsors that support the channel, and I'll see you next time.